This is Fred Beck from Fred Beck Fighting, proudly sponsored by Empire Fight Store and joined today by JMX over Zoom. Joel, it's nice to finally meet you, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, Fred. How are you doing?
Well, good, busy with uni work, but we're putting that on hold for a little bit while we do a few
Through
interviews.
that.
Before we get into the boxing stuff, I know you had your fight announced yesterday via Keemstar on Twitter with Ginty. What have you been up to the last year? Because you haven't been on YouTube for a while.
Yeah, no, it's just me. I've just been busy working on business stuff and sort of stuff behind the scenes, trying to develop myself there and, different companies I'm sort of working on. So yeah, it's just been super busy with that kind of thing for the last 2.5 years now, probably. But I think with this, I'm gonna make a little mini return. I'm not gonna have loads of time to do YouTube, etc. But I'm gonna do a mini return with some of the fights. So yeah.
You're gonna have some sort of like documentary or kind of fight announcement come out on your channel.
I was thinking, I think a documentary for the next fight, basically, because I was like, I have a fight, I don't have a fight, I have a fight, I don't have a fight. Honestly, it's been a fucking nightmare. I never really had the stability to be like, okay, let's make a documentary now. So I think for the next fight is when I'm going to look at documentary, and there'll be a lot to reveal and explain, and it'll be very interesting.
Certainly, yeah. Sounds pretty good. I know King Kenny a documentary come out a few weeks ago, and that was quite a good watch. But your fight, Ginty, how long has it been in the works for before it was announced by Keem?
Not long. So, I mean, I've had quite a few. I think I've had like 3 different people put out at me against me, like Chase Demore being one of them. He's backed out twice. And then, so I literally was like, oh, I'm not even going to get a fight. And then last minute, Ginty came in, agreed. He's got much bigger balls than Chase and quite a few of the other people that backed
Who are the other two people?
out. I'll say like the people that I'd agreed to fight, like 2 or 3 people that are on the card, and then they got, obviously it didn't work out with me fighting them, and then they fought other people. I'll say that much.
Okay, that's fair enough. But Ginty stepped up the fair play to him.
Yeah. So I mean, nothing but respect for him. I think I'm taking it seriously. Got to go in there, get the result, and then onto some potentially very interesting fights going forward.
And why was it announced by Keemstar, not Misfits on Twitter?
I don't know. I mean, I'd only signed the contract. I don't even know if I'd signed the contract by the time that Keemstar announced it. So I'm not sure, because I think it's because it's so last minute, that it just, they haven't officially done it yet. And then Keemstar announced it. I didn't even know it was getting announced. It just went live. But the whole thing has just been so last minute to try and get everything sorted, considering it's like 10 days away now. It's been hectic, but we'll get there.
Yes, next week. It's coming around quite quick, isn't it? I didn't expect it. I thought it was a good few weeks away, but I checked the calendar. I'm like, blimey, I've got to take a week out of uni, so I won't tell teachers about that one. But how long have you been training coming up for this fight? Because obviously you want to get a good performance in. You don't want to be kind of ring rust. I mean, you will have a bit of ring rust, but you want to get a good performance in. How long have you been training up for this fight?
I've been training like 3 or 4 months. So I've got had a decent camp. It's not been super solid, because obviously it's like I've had a couple fights before that I thought I was going to be on, and it just didn't happen. So it's been kind of like stop start in terms of intensity, but I'm no excuses, incredibly ready, and I'm going to put in a performance on Saturday, next Saturday.
Yeah, not long, not long at all. And did you watch Ginter's last fight on the TikTok card?
I've watched it. Yeah.
What do you make of it?
I mean, it wasn't terrible. I mean, respect for getting in. I think there's going to be a big skill gap. I mean, he's physically, it's not as big of a mismatch as everyone thinks. Like I think I'm like 5 or 6 pounds heavier than he is. He's 6'3", I'm 6'5". So physically, like, I think everyone thinks he's like, because he looks quite young, but I think skill wise is where you'll see the gap. But he's won 1 fight, I've won 2. Like technically it shouldn't be miles apart, but I think it will be. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, there's a lot of vulnerability I see from that fight. A lot of just errors that I think potentially we can exploit, which I don't want to talk about it too much. But yeah, I think there's a lot to work with there.
You don't reveal. That's fair enough. You don't reveal a game plan there. But what's the age gap between you and Ginty?
3 years. I think he's 21. I'm 24.
Okay, so it's not that too bad of age gap then. That's fair. That's fair enough. But obviously you're training with Dow in the last 2 boxing fights. Now you found a new training team. Was they hard to find at all?
It was quite hard to find a training team, but I've got a very, very good team now. I still train with Leon as well. for boxing and S&C, but I've got a head boxing coach who does the majority of the boxing stuff, John Tandy, and he's trained world champions before. So I'm very excited about that. I've got a solid team, which was what I needed, because obviously I had such a great team before.
Do you miss Vidal at all?
Of course I miss Vidal, but you know.
You can do what you can do, obviously. Vidal's going to be on his pro career. So it sounds like good hands with the coach. Who have you been sparring, and Joel? Who have you been going up against?
So I mean, I've got the boxing club and the local gym where I've been sparring some solid people, and then also I've got a guy who's just won the Harringdale Cup, Jack Daly, and he's just turning pro as a cruiserweight. So I've been sparring with him, and he's like a hot prospect. Had a very, very good amateur career, so sparring a lot with him. But I haven't been sparring with any YouTubers, so I've been keeping that on the down low recently.
Yeah, that's fair enough then. And just talking about Happy Punch Promotions, obviously, it was only a few weeks ago you announced you signed with them. How did you come around signing with Keemstar?
So it actually happened. So, you know, obviously Ali had his fight against McBroom. I can gas about that, by the way. And Nick Young, I can't remember who backed out against Nick Young. Someone backed out against Nick Young with 3 days to go. And Keemstar hit me up. And I was literally at training. It was 9 p.m. It was like, do you want to fight Nick Young on Saturday? And I was like, where? He's like, in LA. And I was like, fucking hell, it's going to take me half the time to get there. And I was like, sure, I'm do it. I mean, I looked at some stuff. I didn't think Nick Young looked great. Obviously, he's a very big guy. I said, sure, yes. Nick Young came back and said, no, he's too good, basically, about me. Even though obviously I was on 3 days notice, so he didn't want that. I think he fought Minicon instead. And yeah, so that was how like Keemstar hit me up for that. And then we got talking about Happy Punch. He explained the vision to me, and I thought it sounded great and wanted to get involved. Like in YouTube boxing, and like the whole YouTube isn't like my full-time thing, so I don't have as much time to handle management and promotion all the time. So it's good to have someone like that to really help with that. And just their vision of sort of creating a FaZe Clan-esque thing, but for YouTube boxing is sick, and having everyone there. So I just thought it sounded like a great opportunity, and I wanted to be involved.
Certainly. But that was quite interesting, that point you saying flying over to LA. How long did they give you for that fight?
3 days.
3 days. So you'd be so jet lagged, you're going to fight them.
I'd be so jet lagged, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a smart decision to turn down. But then again, he turned you would have gone over then. He just turned.
Yeah, he turned me down. Yeah, I didn't turn it down because I thought I thought, you know, I think I'll go and win, like for sure. And if I go and win on 3 days' notice, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna look good. I've been in training anyway, so it wasn't like complete 3 days' notice, but it wouldn't have been ideal. But I kind of saw just there's not much to lose, and after watching the fight, I would have definitely won. I think. And so, but yeah, he turned me down and said, nah.
Well, that's fair enough. He's got the fight coming up in Sheffield. I believe they got a card. Misfits got a card in January. Is that one you want to be on?
Yes, there's lots of talks about that. I think that's obviously we get rid of the ring rust, not looking past this fight, but we're going to get the result. And then I think there's some potential big matchups for January.
Certainly exciting in January. And you're fighting against Ginty. It's 4 rounds, 3 minutes.
It's free freeze.
Oh, free freeze. Okay. Will that be any difference to you? Because it's not that long, free freeze.
I don't think I'm going to need that long.
It's definitely getting exciting then, Joel. Just a few other points I want to talk about. Deji versus Mayweather in Dubai. You going to go to that?
Oh, yeah, I think I have to. Because I want to see Mayweather get his first loss, right?
I think every YouTuber under the sun is going to be there. It's going to be mad.
It's like this is some like Matrix shit. Like, how has this happened?
It's something out of GTA or something that, yeah, Matrix stuff, yeah.
It was crazy, but yeah, it's gonna be sick, 100%. I'd love to fight on the undercard as well. Maybe that would be sick.
That's my next question. I was about to ask that, because I think Tommy Fury's got a fight announced in the undercard. And I think they did put out a tweet today about another fight on the undercard. They haven't revealed it yet. But when you have Happy Punch Promotion stars be on the undercard, do you know anything about that?
I don't know. I haven't. I need to speak to Keem and see what's happening there, because that could be really good. I know Dr. Mike's fighting on that undercard, who's someone that I think could be a great matchup for me in January. I'd love that fight. I think that'd be good. But yeah, no, I need to speak to Keem and see if there's anything to be done. I kind of also like I've been training consistently for quite a long time, and it's been a ball ache. My body is not damaged, but like I'm just starting to pick up stupid injuries because I just need a bit of a break. So I also kind of don't want to fight straight away afterwards, and then sort of wait till January, get, you know, a couple of weeks rest, and get straight back into another camp. Rather than, you know, if I fought on that undercard, I'd have to basically end the fight and get to training probably that night. So it'd be intense, but we'll see how it looks.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any after party for you, Joe. You'd be back in training Monday morning, so I can imagine you'd want you'd want a little break.
I think I need a big after party.
Oh yeah, but it's gonna be one. So I'm 18 now. It's gonna be one on Saturday or Sunday morning.
I'm right. We'll be getting, or Saturday going into Sunday morning. We'll be getting you fucked up, Fred. Don't you worry.
That sounds that sounds pretty good then, Joe. Awesome. I did it here, but I'll see you in Sheffield next week, not long.
Absolutely.